All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending here from Prayers Spring 2026 webinar series. Today we will have Caroline uh, Pampalone Rappers. She is an instructional assistant professor in dance at Texas A&M and also the executive artistic director of CPR Dance Inhale Movement. She holds an MFA from the University of the Arts and a BFA as a presidential scholar from Western Michigan University. Caroline has performed nationally and internationally with companies including Wellspring, Corey Terry and Dancers, Diavolo, hopefully I spell all of this correctly, Royal and Celebrity Cruises, Clarobscur, and LACDC in works by Sidra Bell, Sejong Kim, Eric Hawkins, Ivan Rayner, and so on. Her choreography, Rapids Ballet, uh, her choreography has been featured at Small Plates Dance Festival, RAD Fest, Dance City Festival, Grand Rapids Ballet, Art Prize, and as a Maggie Alice choreography competition finalist. She also choreographed Chase Your Dreams for Texas A&M Virtual Production Institute with Academy Award nominated director Brandon Oldenburg and Limbert Fabian, as well as THAW with Lynn Farton, Stuart Sieve, and Michael Brunner. Caroline is certified in APT NTC Level 7, Graham Technique, PPT, PCT, Pilates, Reiki, Yoga. Recently, she is a Sidra Bell Research Module Artist, Atelier Artist in Residence, and is a prospective counter technique teacher. All right, let's welcome Caroline.
Thank you so much, Armando. Welcome, everybody. I'm going to share my screen, so just watch your eyes as it shifts. So as a movement practitioner and a pedagogue teaching movement practices and techniques, I'm really curious about how the arts and physical, tangible experiences come into relationships. So this is titled Discovering Transposed Physicality, Integrating AI into Movement. And I just wanted to give a context at the beginning of what I mostly teach ballet at Texas A&M, what the professional experience is like. So here's a short example of a daily practice. This is from the Stratz Ballet in Munich, Germany, a part of World Ballet Day in 2025, this past fall. And they take, professional ballet dancers take class like this every single day, and then it leads into about 6 to 8 hours of rehearsal after an hour and a half long class. So we'll start there.
Paris, assembly, and the season. Step two legs together and a big throw to develop it. So through your legs. Middle jump, please, Simon. Here we go. Right and left. Forward. Good. Second. That's it. Good. And. Nice. Forward. Good, Laura. Nice.
Even I'm going to talk over this, Caroline.
Okay, so
we can see the first screen. I can hear the person, but I can't see dancing.
Oh, you didn't see any dancing.
No, so I could see from the bottom here the second screen, and we're not seeing that.
Okay, let me try shifting. Thank you for letting me know that. And I'll try seeing if I can go into the actual YouTube video of this.
That will be great.
Paris, assembly, and the
Can you see this?
season.
Yes.
Thank you.
Step two legs together and a big throw to develop it. So through your legs. Middle jump, please, Simon. Here we go. Right and left.
Hey, Carolyn, rewind the video. We're looking at it at the end.
I'm sorry, Stuart, would you say that one more time?
Yeah, pull the video back to time counts. Yeah, to the beginning.
Okay.
and the seesaw and the step assembly system.
Thank you.
Now we go straight to the other side. So a lot of traveling because now we have the chance to have the big studio. And Failli, assembly and the seesaw. Step 2 legs together and a big throw to develop it. So through your legs. Middle jump, please, Simon. Here we go. Right and left. Forward. Good. Second. That's it. Good. And nice. Forward. Good, Laura. Nice. Even quicker the second leg for the. That's right. That's right. Nice. Good. Good. Nice.
Okay, so that's just an example of the current professional standard of this ballet technique practice, and which is important as we explore how in this very analog, non-digital space, you have a live pianist accompanist, there's very minimal technology happening in the room besides the actual camera recording that. How does AI integrate into this kind of experience? So, oops, go forward. So I mostly teach, again, I teach ballet. It's not loading right now. There we go. So in the fall of 2025, I taught Movement Lab Ballet 3 and dance conditioning. And my queried question was, can AI generate the major written coursework within these two classes? So are students able to submit, can they ask AI to submit their work for them? Is AI capable of that in regards to these physical embodiment practices? So in the dance conditioning class, the whole course is designed around students being able to create a very specific tailored dance conditioning plan for themselves based upon their personal goals, based upon clinical dancer screenings that we host in our program here. And you can see photos, examples of dancers doing different workouts. And this is...
Hey, Caroline, probably you want to switch back to your presentation?
This?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for letting me know that when I go full screen, it doesn't show up. So within the dance conditioning class, the students were utilizing a large language module as well as an AI app called Zing AI Coach to prompt and create customized workout plans based upon their specific goals, focusing and addressing principles of conditioning so that they are able to achieve these standards of professional practice like demonstrated on the previous video. So the principles of conditioning include things like alignment and coordination and aerobic and anaerobic endurance and etc. So you can see them all engaging in their technology in various ways and doing the AI generated workout plans physically on themselves as part of a class structure. So in the class, the dance students started with logging into Zing AI. They created a custom profile and they were able to customize specifics on their particular goals. I want to work on range of motion in my hip socket, for example. And then they were able to also customize even the amount of time that they had available to work out, how often. And this was free for 7 days as a trial account. There are options to upgrade to professional accounts. And you can see an example ad from the website of Zing AI on the left. There's a kinetic marking that is happening. And this is all very accessible with personal phones. So once you get your account uploaded, then you can physically do a workout that is generated. The video demonstration is an AI generated humanoid dance person leading, instructing you, and then you have this kinetic marking to make sure that alignment and coordination or endurance is maintained to maintain the accountability through the workout as well. Additionally, after this first initiation, students did the same prompt through ChatGPT, which is also very accessible for a lot of the students that I teach, and physically did the workout that ChatGPT originated for them. General feedback from the 22 students and how successful they felt their experience was from the prompts, the outcomes, the AI generated workouts for their specific goal was an average around 7.11. So it was mostly successful on an average scale. There was a range of polarities of discrepancies, just like what we see manifested in large society. Some people were strong components of it and of this use, and some people were very skeptical. So the general feedback that was felt, as well as the use of it, I should say the ease of it, over 50% felt it was very easy to use in this context, specifically in generating customized workout plans for themselves. The general reflections when polled amongst the class participants was that it was in general a convenient starting point. It simplified the planning process and took out mental load. However, it needed more specific supplementation. It did not follow through enough yet in nuanced articulation, and there was more information that was missing, but it offered a way to save time and energy. So it was a quick solution with with results that were supportive, but not necessarily ideal for comprehensive experiences. So with that, and I'm just highlighting this particular class because what we did in ballet was a different task, and you can see very clearly when we get to it, different outcomes and reflections as well. So dance, this is how I define dance, is relationship to time, space, and energy with or without a body and with or without an audience. So relationship of time, space, and energy. And how does AI then come in relationship with time, space, and energy in that? So a little dance theory background that helps just build the stage for us. There's a Laban spatial analysis from Rudolf von Laban. And we essentially have something that is called a kinesphere. And you can think of it as your own personal space, your bubble. And it's organized in the framework of a box. And you can see in this first top picture that the person, the dancer, the individual is inside of the box. And there are different ways of organizing the relationship to space and understanding space behind you, next to you, in front of you, and inside of you. And with that, it reveals, you can see this second picture, there's 26 different directions that any body part can go in at any time, which can create really exciting and complicated movement strategies. So it could be multiple body parts going in multiple different directions at the same time, or multiple body parts going in the same direction at the same time, or in sequence. So we can really have a lot of creative fun in how you organize movement structures. Also, with our body in relationship to space, there's in Bartinia fundamentals, there is an internal and external relationship inside of myself and inside of the environment that I'm physically in as an external space as well. So we organize our bodies internally in relationship to our external environments through 6 main connections, the first being breath. We have something called core distal, and these are these little symbols over here because this was all created pre-video when things were annotated out in more of a hieroglyphic almost nature called Laban notation. So we have breath, we have core distal, so the center of my being and my extremities, like my hands and feet. We have a head-tail connection, so elongating through the trunk and the spine. Our upper-lower, we have an upper half can do something different or the same as my lower half if I divide and chop myself in half. And then the same thing if I was to divide and chop myself in half vertically, my right side and my left side, we call body half connections. And they can do same things or different things, so creating more asymmetry as well. And then last, we have a diagonal distance or cross-lateral connection. So right hand to left foot, for example, and left hand to right foot. So these are all ways that we actively practice in studio how to organize our bodies. And these are not the only ways. These are just the ways that we're focused on for this next context. So in our ballet class, dancers choreographed 2 sets of 8. So in musical counts and timing, that's 16 counts total. And they highlighted and chose one relationship to space through the Bartinia fundamentals. So they decided themselves what to do, and they choreographed 2 sets of 8, focusing in on that one idea. So for example, core distal, a dancer would choreograph a core distal sequence that was 16 counts long. They then prompted generative AI, a large language model of ChatGPT or Claude, their choice, but most chose ChatGPT to do the same thing. And an outcome was generated, a prompt outcome. And then they took that prompt outcome that's in a text form and they translated that onto their physical selves as well. And then performed both phrases side by side to one another to reveal different algorithms that may happen. So for today, I'd love to share the amazing dancer, Morgan Hildum. They are going to demonstrate 2 phrases, one they choreographed and one AI generated prompt. And Morgan is a current dance science major amongst our College of Performance Visualization and Fine Arts. And I'd like for us to see if we can identify which phrase may be the AI generated phrase and which phrase may be the human generated phrase. I'm going to stop my share so we can watch Morgan dancing. Okay, I'm gonna just grab my phone also to record really quickly. All right, phrase 1. Great, and phrase 2. Great. I think maybe we should watch it one more time, just as notice if you're catching on any differences between the 2, just take notice to what those differences may be. So phrase 1. And phrase 2. Great. Do we have any opinions on which phrase is the human or the AI generated phrase? Thank you, Morgan. Yeah.
I'm going to vote. I don't really know, but I'm going to vote that the first one was human generated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see some people in the chat as well. Correct. Everyone got it right. What were some of the obvious giveaways?
Mechanical movement.
Moving from one movement to the next.
It was smoother.
Yeah.
Yeah, it highlighted a disembodied snag in relationship to space, specifically also time and energy. But it really revealed that algorithmic snag. Then you see very clearly when it's physically embodied. And I would like to argue that that same algorithmic snag appears in any AI generated any information of any kind. Just how visible it is dependent on familiarity, I think, with the medium that it's being explored in. So I'm going to share now my screen again, and we're going to see the specific prompt outcome that was generated from Morgan's phrase. So we put in, please choreograph 16 counts of ballet choreography highlighting body half connection from Bartenia fundamentals. And then what was interesting is that it gave very specific directions, again, to the hands and the feet or the arms and the legs. It also gave us an initiation direction, which was interesting and a newer outcome from this prompt from what I had explored in previous iterations of this. And then it was up to the dancer themselves to interpret it. And so these moments where we see these physical snags, Morgan was responsible for making an artistic choice. I'm going to stop my share one more time and let's talk about one of those specific moments. Yeah, your favorite moment. Do you want to actually demonstrate it in the AI phrase, that passe moment?
Passe moment?
Yeah. So the cueing was what?
It was to go from an extension to a passe and take your right leg while your left leg was still in passe to a lunge, and then give a transition on how to actually get to the lunge.
So she had to fly through space and land and lunge. Yeah. So these are the kinds of snags that reveal themselves very clearly in when we are embodying AI. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Thank you, Morgan. Great. And that, I think, when we hit these snags, that's a really creative opportunity for learning, and which I will speak to in the outcomes coming to come. So we also then took that particular moment and put it in a text to video AI generation. So you saw how Morgan interpreted that specific passe, step on the right foot into the lunge, having to fly through space, transposed embodiment. And so this is through Artlist AI, and it's the exact same text that was from the ChatGPT prompt. And this is how Artlist AI generated that prompt. Yeah. So it didn't even actively do what was being prompted in terms of the ballet steps that were in the vocabulary that was being articulated in the outcome of the AI prompt. It just kind of created its own interpretation of ballet steps, not adhering to a codified classical example. But if you're not familiar with this medium, it looks like it may be correct, potentially. It looks like a ballet dancer in front of us. So let's watch it one more time. So reminder of that prompt being from passe to step on the right foot, to switch and then step on the right foot into a lunge. Yeah, so we don't ever see the lunge happening. We do see a weight transition happening, but we don't see clearly of how it's traveling through space either. So it was also confusing for AI to generate something from its own original prompt generation. Okay, so next, so Artlist.io was what we utilized as well, and there's the option for it. And here's another video, text to video AI generated prompt. You can see again some similarities from the previous video that was generated from Morgan's, and you can see the specific prompt below here as well. And then even further with other examples from our ballet class in the fall, you can see very clearly, again, now we're seeing very clear observables of overgeneralizations happening. Everyone's wearing a black leotard and pink tights, except for this one on the far right corner. Everyone is wearing ballet shoes, except for this one on the far right corner. Everyone's brunette. Everyone has their hair in a bun. And everyone is female in this video as well. So when we look at the observables, I'm not sure if we can get the sound, but this one is speaking and talking. And then this one over here is also speaking and talking as they're showing a video demonstration of something. And what they're saying isn't matching the actual physical movements and how we know the classical vocabulary of ballet. This one, the prompt was to do a leap, and they don't, the video generation isn't successfully doing a leap either. So all of the video generations interpreting the AI prompts were not successful in how we would categorize the physical embodiment. So just a reminder from the beginning of the day of this conversation, this is the professional example of what we had, and then this is what is being generated from AI. So the class felt mixed about how easy it was to use in terms of the context of applying AI into ballet, as well as maintaining the integrity of the body. It was very, very, very skeptical. At times, the integrity of the body had these embodiment snags, and at times it did make logical sense of like, okay, we're going to go from this way to this way. And then lastly, with the polls from Ballet 3, the integrity of maintaining the dance movements was felt to be lacking in terms of this codified language that we utilize in dance. So what's revealed from all of these experiments, research, fun activities that we did in class? So stereotypes were observed in the overrepresentation of skin tones, genders, and traditional beauty standards, as well as predictable settings, costumes, and roles. A lot of times when they were speaking as if they were teaching the choreography. And then inaccurate and amateur interpretation of classical ballet movements were observed as well. So there isn't an understanding of movement in a clear aesthetic approach. Whereas in the dance conditioning course, movement in terms of building exercises that are not nuanced was very easily accessible and the students felt was successful, yet not in a clear standard towards professional trajectories. In terms of space and physics, this prompts of the scores, I'm saying the word scores because that's how we refer to a prompt in the language of dance. We're often disregarding physical limitations like mass or gravity. Sometimes your arm would have to like go through your body to be on the other side of your body. But it invited problem solving and exploring new interpretations for the students, opening up more learning possibilities. This relationship to space also and codified movement vocabulary lacked visual embodiment and clarity. So in all of the video examples that are text to video AI generation, it looks a little bit unclear physically of how they're traveling through space and moving. Whereas in Morgan's phrase 1 that she self-created, it was very clear how she was moving her body through space. There was that neurological clarity translated into what we view as a viewer from the outside as well. Which is missing in that moment. So where it transposes and how it interpretations. So the prompts jump across time and space, and it reimagines physical bodies, and it reveals snags, requiring weight shifting that's not possible through gravity, and it requires inventive solutions and choice around transitional pathways. So for example, in dance, we utilize the term direct or indirect pathways. So a lot of the prompts that were AI generated utilized direct pathways. I want my arm to go from here to here, and I'm going to go the easiest, most simple pathway from A to B, whereas indirect pathways are maybe I'm going to go through and then get to B, for example. A prompt outcomes were also the most obvious choice of least resistance, at times lacking creativity and lacking physical research complexity, referencing back to the ability to go in 26 directions at any given time with any body part. And that nuanced articulation for it was missing, which then created a boring or predictive viewer experience. Most prompts focused on distal joints that were AI generated, hands and feet, with little complication or involvement of proximal joints, which means shoulders or hips. So in the AI phrase that Morgan demonstrated, you see very large dimension shapes moving through, and you see less articulated nuances. And the outcomes that we see generated in both the text and the video were generalized. There was very little, or I would say even zero or minimal historical lineages articulated in a codified classical ballet technique, as well as minimal classical vocabulary utilized. It utilized words like plie, but it didn't have the traditions of whether it's coming from the Vaganova school or the Cicchetti school, which change how the step is performed, for example. Learning through movement. So what does this mean in terms of learning opportunities? So through early childhood development, our brains map movement and experiences to understand the world around us. That's how we learn and grow. And this is foundational for organic processes of learning, but it's absent right now currently in AI, from my opinion. However, engaging in AI as a human engaging into it, we're able to confront these gaps, which create creative problem solving and forge new neural connections for us. And this process not only challenges our cognitive bias and frequency illusions, but it also expands our selective attention, offering new understanding for perception and learning possibilities. And this exploring this through the physical embodiment practice naturally complements and forges new learning neural pathways that can then easily translate into other learning experiences more seamlessly. So we're increasing our neuroplasticity through engaging in these movement practices and revealing, oh, the snag moment, what are you going to do when you reach this moment here? And then lastly, authorship and agency. Increasingly, despite the AI generated scores, the dancers in Ballet 3 felt that they retained authorship because of how much interpretation was needed in translating the prompts, which then again just deepens that conversation around authorship and citation when utilizing in these scores. Great. And AI and the body. So this raises questions of what is a body of generative AI? How can deep learning be greater enhanced through kinesthetic touch, much like how we can mirror early childhood development learning practice through embodiment practicality? What futures are around that? And just recently in December of 2025 and January of 2026, a dancing robot was revealed on stage to be dancing as a backup dancer. And so I'll just share a little bit of this clip of, it's gonna make me go out.
On a shopping cart smashed my headlight.
Okay, well, I won't share that because I don't want to watch the, maybe it's over here, actually. There it is. Okay, great.
Doing flawless dance moves? We never thought this day would come this soon. It dances solo on the streets, trains in real dance studios, and performs as a live concert backup dancer. This isn't CGI or a lab demo. It's a real humanoid robot entering human creative spaces. Who the heck is this robot? And how is it doing things we never expected humanoids to do this early? This is the Unitree G1, developed by Unitree Robotics, and it's engineered to balance power, agility, and intelligence inside a remarkably compact humanoid frame.
Okay. So I highly recommend if you would like to learn more about that, please research that. I would like to note specifically about this is that it's powered to balance power. It's inputted with information to balance agility and how to understand physics in this framework. So somebody's inputting this information and then it's self-learning from there. And that was revealed very clearly in the dance conditioning class. And that when these dance conditioning workouts were being generated from the AI prompts, there was a very clear limitations of what was possible, but the potential to build deep learning modalities through an embodied experience from a humanoid could open up these possibilities for future learning potentialities. So for me, in particular with this research, what's next? I teach a lot of online asynchronous courses of dance appreciation, and I'm currently investigating also into fostering how to build integrity-centered pedagogies that address AI misuse within written coursework assignments. And through doing things like speaking into this as a topic with my students actively, speaking into these opportunities to engage AI in class and having conversations where the shortfalls are revealed and they then become more skeptical or informed users of AI. I have seen a really strong reduction of AI misuse instances to the point of around 48% reduction from the spring semester to the fall semester of 2025. And I'm continuing to track this as I'm engaging in these conversations. So I'm hoping to just finalize this particular research a little bit more, but just essentially building in preventative and critical inquiry as conversations with students then makes students be able to feel empowered to make choices that are going to enhance the grades and the learning experiences that they desire more, which then prevents the misuse. And so you step away from policing and you're having more creative fun and inquiry with students in the learning practices as well. So that's everything I have. Thank you so much. That is a short reference list to all of the information as well as my email. And I'd love to connect more. Thank you so much for being here.
All right, I will stop the recording.